Creatives should be making money in 2023. 5 years ago, I was convinced I had a talent. This epiphany or whatever caused me to upload my first spoken word poem to YouTube. And I think it did pretty good for someone who knew nothing about YouTube, and I had a piss poor social presence. Unfortunately, for 5 years after that upload, I only saw this ability of writing and oration as a talent. I was unable to look past the feeling of being endowed with speaking powers by God himself, and essentially never took building a portfolio or even a bigger reputation with spoken word seriously. Even as an artist, I struggle to call myself an artist because of my perception over those many years on what an artist looked like. However, having gone through that long journey of self-growth and maturity, I now realize that art is the most highly underrated, and listen to the word I'm about to use. It is the most highly underrated skill of all time. I had to repeat that because now we're trying to shift perception from talent to skill. You see, looking back over the years and reflecting on my origin story made me realize that I would have spent way more time as a child reading and practicing reading out loud with my father than the average child. This nurturing sowed a seed in me that eventually developed into what seemed like a divine granted natural speaking prowess. And added to that, due to the somewhat uncommon training, many adults or older folks would always comment on my talent, and it sort of, kind of created a distance of me from my work as I viewed it to be bigger than me. Don't ask me why. I'm dumb. I was dumber. I still stupid.
You stupid.
This affected my perception of myself as an artist because, that was just me comparing myself to others. And when you look at the stars or the big earners within the industry, you won't see the hours they put in, the failed auditions, the days riddled with doubt, and most importantly, you won't see their skill development from zero to hero. Therefore, the art industry looked like if you were not born with a certain threshold of talent, there is no way you would be remembered or even make money from this. It's 2023. Drop that stupid perception, for real, because you are wrong and it is wrong. First off, you have a skill and you owe it to yourself to invest heavily in refining that skill. Refining that skill can only do good things for you. It generates a sustainable income for yourself and your family. You can publish your unique products and you get a foot into the industry. That art industry, and the list goes on. You have no excuse as a creative individual or as an artist to be struggling. So you're possibly saying, well, how do I do that, Spa? Thanks for the prep talk, but I don't even know where to begin, and there are so much people already there. How is it that I can make it? And to that, I would just tell you, solving that issue needs you to just do the exact thing you're already doing and maybe just do it a bit more. Get creative. No, but seriously, here are some actual tips that could work. The only difference between a plethora of products these days are marketing strategies. Consumers are often faced with option paralysis and will tend to just boil everything down to two choices. And most of the time, depending on which one they can Google and get more hits on, they will most likely purchase that one without, having to go through the process of really discerning between the multitude of products. You're going to have to be the same. As an artist, why are you not posting to social media? Mako what is trending, replicate it, and post again with an actual strategy. This includes learning social media, learning about digital marketing, learning about personal brand marketing, or you could just let iLiberate Media do all that for you, no stress. On learning, you already have to focus on being an artist, and then on top of that, learning that, you don't have time for that. It's about finding your niche. where is your audience? What platforms are they actually on? How can you reach your audience effectively? And what type of content do those suckers eat up? Yes, this is how you have to view them. I mean, not as suckers, as fans, but what is it that they're trying to consume? So here's a tip within that tip. It's a location-free service. So this is just a sub point. Your model is not limited to your home country. Look, for example, I was looking at this video from Skeng the other day, and it had 47 million views, right? A Jamaican artist. There are only 44 million people in the Caribbean, and I'm pretty sure not everyone in the Caribbean took out their smartphone, went on their laptop, and looked at that video. Therefore, I can infer that a vast majority of views came from outside the Caribbean, which means that despite cultural differences, distance, and other factors, his music is hitting waves outside of Jamaica easily. The same goes for any form of creative service. The internet is a playground, right? Filled with rich kids who are willing to pay the price for success. Those types of people are your customers. Second tip comes in as invest in your skill as a business model. Accounting taught me several things. How to deal with depression, how to realize you're a failure in life, and how to cope with never amounting to anything. But most importantly, it taught me that business on a very simplified scale boils down to assets, liabilities, and capital. Most artists have none of these. None at all. Most likely liabilities. But if you have none, then it's much better. Here's what you can do to get a start. Get some assets. I'm talking about equipment, software, a website, tools, and friends. You're going to have to use the money to network, right? Buy friends. Let's say you like to make music on a drum that you had since you were a child, and let's also assume you write music. Nobody, and I mean nobody, cares about your acoustic drums unless you have a big time studio to record those drums in. So buy a decently powerful laptop, a DAW software, and possibly a drum machine, and start making music there. Businesses and companies always need music. You know who else needs music? Indie game developers, YouTubers, studios, content creators. All these people are very thirsty for music. Because you see, one thing you have to get out of is looking at the limited mold of seeing what artists are, or where do artists fall in. We just commonly hear the word artists used in the entertainment industry, and there's so many more places for you to fit in with your skill. The same goes for poets out there. Publish your work. If you are writing spoken word in 2023 and you do not have a mic, and at least HD camera and a powerful laptop for editing visuals and editing audio in 2023, work on it. Writing can end up in marketing campaigns, storyboarding, script writers, voiceovers, man. The list is endless. Literally, start building you up as a business. Think of yourself as an owner and an employee, then ask yourself, what would be the tools for success that my employee needs? Now, this last tip is a tip I wished I learned about 2 years ago. We've already established that creativity or art is a skill. Then it can be learned, right? This is why you must expand your horizons as an artist. I only started 6 months ago with learning digital art because I felt like just writing was not enough and wanted to expand my skill set. Another push was that in my search for local digital artists, I was unable to find any that had a style that I liked, and those that actually matched the feel of what I wanted for a business venture at the time had no means, zero means, like can't do it or unfamiliar with it, of digital production. They had no means of taking their art and producing it in a digital format. Most of them, if not all, were still painting on canvases and were doing this as a hobby rather than a legitimate skill that they can offer. I had to then turn to Fiverr to get an artist from a whole nother part of the world, and then I realized how easy it is to sell your art as a skill online. On top of that, music theory has been a slow burn learning process for me, but it's there as well. Essentially, my goal is to be a triple threat artist in the next 5 years, and I find that having at least 2 skills out of the tree of creativity is a combination for success. Sure, you may be gifted at music, but that won't stop you from getting to understand art or digital art and making epic visualizers. This only adds more to you as a storyteller, as you're not only able to sonically communicate your message, but it can be seen as well. Creatives don't need to be dulled into a job that will most likely never utilize their skill set and cause them to dread every day. It's time for you to recognize your ability to improve your art and actively do so. It's not just a talent, but it's a skill that is currently underprovided in the world, despite how easily it can be sold online. So, start taking yourself and your skills seriously. Like I said, invest in what you have. Build upon what you have. Do courses. Check out the plethora of sites that are available. Read books, bro. I don't know. Build your art. Create a portfolio for yourself. And maybe, just maybe, you don't have to be a broke artist. Thanks for watching today's video. If you like the content, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and delve into the channel of Spoken Awoken. Stay blessed.